This is 21 Down. Wow.
Wow.
We are so back. Fellas, ladies, gentlemen. 21 Down is officially back for season 2. Today we've got Ghost Electric Limeade. We only drink Ghost on special occasions now. And today is a very special occasion. And why is that?
Because I didn't squat. Well, I squatted with no caffeine, and so I had my first sip of a drink today, just barely.
That's all. That's all that's going on today.
Well, no. There's no NBA games.
But we're so back.
Yeah, we are.
Wow.
Wow.
For those of you who have been wondering where we've been.
All 10 of you.
All 10 of you.
That for some reason we're still listening to this.
The special shout out to our Vietnamese listeners as well.
The things you find out.
You might wonder where we've been for the past 2.5 years or so. Mason, would you like to fill everyone in on what you've been up to?
Okay, so for some reason, right when the USFL season started in 2024, we decided to stop. I don't know why. I'm really frustrated, actually, because, wow, what a season that was. If y'all remember the Pittsburgh Maulers, they changed their colors. But anyway, in September of that year, I went on my mission for La Iglesia de Jesucristo de los Santos de los Últimos Días.
He spoke English.
Over in Washington, Kennewick of all places. And so I was there. And then I joined the Air Force after that. So that's where I've been. Do you want to go for
And for
my bad.
the 10% of people that care about where I've been, about 3 months after Mason left on his mission, I left on mine to go to Canada. Gah. I was there for 2 years, and then I came back, and now I'm a Costco fiend.
And I've just been thugging it out, doing slum work up in Springdale, Utah.
Working at Subway.
Gah. I'm very appreciative that they gave me a raise recently, and they were nice enough to bring me on after a very hard 1 week of not having a job.
Yep. But we live, we love, we lie.
But does any of that matter? Because sports.
We were deprived. For 2 years, we did not have access to any sports.
Nope.
So our brains are still 2 years in the past. But you know what? We move forward. We've enjoyed watching sporting events since we've been home. And right now, the NBA playoffs are going on. What are your thoughts of the current playoffs?
Okay, so I know that you have the bracket pulled up, but I just want to say one thing. My goodness, my heart shattered when the Golden State Warriors were knocked out. Not because I'm necessarily like a Golden State fan like I used to be, but wow. That might have been it.
For our longtime listeners, you may remember that I had a very strong opinion of LeBron James, and I wasn't a big fan. But I want to say that spiritually, mentally, physically, I matured in these 2 years, and I've come to terms that LeBron James is indeed the greatest basketball player of all time.
Well, I think we both matured, but I can say that you maybe matured a little bit more than me, but you know what, that's all right. But wow, has it not been a treat to watch him play little bits and pieces there?
Still leading his team as if he were back in Cleveland in 2018.
You know what? Just pull up his, since we've had the full series now, pull up his Thunder stats. If any of you even don't know, I think that's pretty wild, but Lakers got swept in 4 by the Thunders, the villains, evil. And I don't say that because they're good. I say that because they annoy me. It's like the same reason why I don't like the Kansas City Chiefs. Sure, maybe I hate them because they're good, but wow, does Patrick Mahomes' family piss me off. You got that pulled up there, friend?
It's being weird.
It's being weird. Let me
Here
see what
it
I
is.
can get.
I've got it in Yahoo.
Netanyahu?
Yahoo!
Oh.
I've got LeBron this playoffs. So, in the playoffs, he averaged 23 points a game,
This
almost
playoffs?
7 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Oh my
He led the
gosh.
Lakers in points and led the Lakers in assists.
Okay, so reminder that Luka Doncic was not in, and Austin Reeves wasn't in for most of it, but that's still leading a team like that is pretty crazy. Leads a team in a series against the Rockets, which, I mean, what's KD gonna do, right? He didn't even
KD
play
can't do
half the
anything
games.
on his own. But
No.
that's besides the point. LeBron is 41 years old. He led the Lakers in points and assists in the series. Now, they did get swept by the Thunder, but if this tells you anything about what the Lakers are without LeBron, you have Austin Reeves, who is technically your second guy. You know, you have Luka as your first option. Austin Reeves is your second. LeBron is your third. Austin Reeves couldn't even lead his team in points or assists. Didn't really do much. Wasn't much of a factor.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Lakers, I'm even looking at this last game, which was their closest. I believe that was their closest loss with in that series, the 115 to 110 loss. I was watching that one live. If you look at the box score, look at everything like that, the Lakers on their starters, they had 3 players drop 20 plus points, and 2 of their starters didn't even break double digits, that being Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton. Not to bag on Marcus Smart, he played really well in that Rockets series. I will bag on DeAndre Ayton. That guy can't get an offensive board for his life. But wow, I don't know, just LeBron doing even what he did with the team that he had was pretty impressive, at least to me. Most people just thought they were going to get swept out of the playoffs in that first series. LeBron by himself. Austin Reeves came back, I think, for a little bit during that. But it is impressive to see. I don't know. Do you want to keep on going with just the playoffs before we even get into more of like LeBron talk, future, stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I don't think we really need to get into that too much. It's all speculative where LeBron's going to be. I don't think he's going to retire. I think most likely he sticks around with the Lakers, but honestly, that front office has got to fix some things, and LeBron's, I think, has got to add a little bit of pressure. But
I agree.
moving on, elsewhere in the playoffs, the Spurs and the Timberwolves
Wow.
are battling it out right now.
I love this series so freaking much, man. It has been a joy to see Ant Edwards do, like, I don't know. It's just such a joy to watch him play basketball.
You just look at guys like Victor Wembanyama and Anthony Edwards, and you just realize, wow. For fans of teams like, I don't know, the Utah Jazz or
It makes you hope.
the
right?
Washington Wizards or even the Phoenix Suns or I don't even know, the Orlando Magic.
That's a good
You
example.
look at guys like Ant Edward and Victor Wembanyama, and you just realize how far behind your team is. That's why we're going to talk about the draft.
You were thinking about far behind. I was thinking hopeful that you could just have
that
one
you could
fella
find
come
a guy at some point.
Because what are the Spurs without Wemby? It's like De'Aaron Fox, which, I mean, that's not a bad guy to have at all. De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, not bad players, but that team is not winning a playoff series.
Yeah.
Without
and if you
Victor.
look at the Timberwolves, I mean, it's just
Jaden McDaniels is a great
2015,
player.
2016 Jazz. You've got freaking Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert and Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles. Oh, he is on the Timberwolves, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he played.
No, I don't think he's played this series.
But yeah, very good series.
Wow, do you remember when...
Spurs are probably going to come out on top, I think, to play the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals.
It is weird as a post-Don, post-Rudy Jazz fan to see Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs, Rudy Gobert in the playoffs.
Moving into
all these fellas just
Donovan
going at it.
Mitchell talk.
Yeah.
Cleveland is up 3-2 against the Pistons.
That game was crazy. That was a fun game to watch.
It's been fun watching Donovan, James Harden.
Yeah, like
Play.
when did Harden get? Harden got brought on this year, and I remember when that happened, not being super enthused about that helping or hurting Cleveland's chances. But no, like it's genuinely helped. Last night he dropped 30 points with 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He's been a really nice asset. I think more than anything, kind of like that veteran leadership. It's been really fun to see him and Donovan go at it with each other. But I love something that I think not a lot of people are talking about is Jared Allen. I think that he's been showing up, at least last game. He showed up really well, played how he needed to help them get it. He had 16, 10 rebounds, and I think Cleveland wouldn't say they're the most, definitely not the most complete team in the East. I think that easily goes to the Knicks, but they are looking really nice and really good.
If you ask me to name 2 players on the Pistons, I could give you one, and that's Cade Cunningham.
They're super.
But somehow they're the 1 seed.
They're a good team though.
Yeah.
They
So, honestly,
have depth.
The thing is, do I think anyone has enough to beat this Oklahoma City Thunder team? I honestly don't. I think that this is a generational team that we're seeing here, and honestly, if you ask me if I'm a fan of it, I'm very much not.
Of OKC.
I do not like this OKC team.
I do not like green eggs and ham.
No, Sam, I am.
Whatever.
Whatever
no, it's
the
fine.
fetch the quote is. But Knicks sweep the 76ers. Sad to see. But it is what it is. I'll always root for the Sixers as long as Ben Simmons is not on that team. Knicks, I mean,
Knicks look solid.
You look at this in the past 10 years, and you see the Pistons as the 1 seed and the Knicks as the 3 seed.
It's bizarre.
5 or 6 years ago, no one sees that.
A post LeBron Cavs. That is weird.
Yeah. So, playoffs, very fun. I've
Very
enjoyed
fun.
watching them. Keeping it with the NBA, I said that we would talk about the draft. I think that's what we'll do now, because you do have teams like Utah or Memphis, Chicago, Washington, who need to find their own Victor Wembanyama.
Here,
And you know what?
let's go through the top 10.
There's quite a few fellas in this draft class who very well could be another Anthony Edwards or Victor Wembanyama.
Do you have the draft? You have the draft class picked up. So for the first 10 picks, by the way, it's pretty wild that Golden State's at 11. I think you're sitting pretty if you're the Warriors with that 11th seed pick, whether or not you trade that or use that. That's a pretty nice little addition there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, OKC's at 12 too. That's annoying.
Well, I could rant about OKC and how they've been smart with their trades and their draft picks. But
Well, go for it.
we
then.
don't need to get into it
Why
right
not?
now.
Okay, fine. Different day. Okay. Milwaukee's at 10, which with that Giannis trade, we can talk about that too. That could be useful, which I don't know. Mavericks at 9, Hawks at 8, Sacramento at 7. I feel like they're the permanent 7th overall pick, right?
Pretty much. It never seems like they get given any favors.
Nope. Well, they screwed themselves over a lot
It's
with
true.
teams like Dallas, with teams, oh man, they're just... Brooklyn's at 6. LA Clippers at 5 via the Pacers. Chicago Bulls at 4. Grizzlies at 2. The Utah Jazz... Grizzlies at 3. Utah Jazz at 2. Wizards at 1.
It breaks my heart to see that the Jazz didn't manage to pull the first overall pick, but you know what?
Because
I still think there's a good chance. Well, let's talk about some of the guys in this draft class. You've got AJ DeBensta, BYU, forward.
I loved watching him play. When I came home from my mission, I came home around the time that college football was starting. I think I missed the first 2 weeks. Came home second week of the NFL season, and so like college basketball was just about to get going and everything like that. And I just remember, because we actually live in the area where AJ DeBenza played basketball in high school. He went to Utah Prep or Utah Academy, whatever it's called. That's like your next door neighbor friend. So all throughout my mission, I was hearing about AJ DeBanza, right? My brother kept on talking about like how he got to shake his hand. I think he even like slapped him on the butt or something like that. But AJ DeBanza this, AJ DeBanza that. And I didn't really understand the hype. And I will be honest, the first half of BYU season, I didn't understand it that much either. But there was like one particular game that he played. I don't even remember what it was or like what got it, but just something clicked in my head. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to be a Utah Jazz player. And this was the most locked in I've been on an NBA lottery forever. Because I was like, oh, man.
It's true, because this is the first year where the Jazz really had a chance to get someone like
Please,
AJ.
Mark Tatum, I need this.
But, of course, they fall one short. You've got Darren Peterson, who's kind of his main competition for the number one spot.
Wait.
Everyone pretty much assumes that AJ's going first overall.
When I hear
But
anybody,
there's some arguments for Darren Peterson.
when I hear anybody talk about Darren Peterson going over AJ, though, it always seems like they're trying to find things to break down AJ, not things to improve Darren.
Well,
if that
I
makes
think,
sense.
I think that the consensus is that Darren Peterson, I think that there's more upside for Darren Peterson than there is AJ, because the thing about AJ is that he's a big fella.
He's a big fella.
And he hasn't necessarily had like a whole lot of trouble like competing, if you kind of get what I'm saying. He's always been that guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And so
competing for that number one spot, that kind of stuff, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So in college, he's just that guy.
Right.
You get to the NBA, you look at all of these kids that are drafted in the NBA. You look at Zion Williamson. You know, people are saying that he's going to be the next whoever, the next LeBron. But he flops. He fails. And it's because the NBA is such a higher caliber. And so when I say that I think that Darren Peterson has more upside, is that he could end up being, as he develops more, he could have higher potential. I think AJ, we've already seen how good he is.
Yeah.
And he's going to stay good. But will he be able to live up to the NBA's standards? And I do think that he will. But the point that I'm trying to make is Darren Peterson, kind of like if you're building an NBA character, he has more potential growth. But AJ, you're just already getting a solid guy.
Ceiling
with the Wizards,
higher,
with the Wizards, you're looking at, if they pick AJ, they're picking their guy that they want right now. If they pick Darren Peterson, they're kind of gambling a little bit because he does have some injuries in the past. He is kind of a prima donna from a couple of sources that I've heard from. But also, they could get an all-star, a superstar.
Yeah, and I don't know. Before I even like go into this, like, do you agree with like the sentiment of like the NBA draft is harder to draft consistently than the NFL? As in, your number one pick in the NBA draft is going to be a lot different.
I think it's more impactful. I think the NBA draft is more impactful. Obviously, like, because there's less guys on the court and on the team, you know?
Yeah.
But also because there's you look at the NFL draft this year, most of the first round picks are offensive linemen. How many offensive linemen can you name that are superstars? You can probably count them on your hands. We don't need to go through the list.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean,
how many NBA first round picks end up being these huge names?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, so point being that your first round of the NBA draft means a lot more than the first round of the NFL draft. Because also with the NFL draft, you can get Tom Brady's in the 6th round. You can get it with the NBA too.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more common with the NFL.
I feel like one thing, though, with the NBA draft that is kind of hard is that they allow these players to only play 1 year in college. AJ and Darren have only played 1 year in college, respectfully. And so it is kind of like a bigger situation for a boom or a bust, right? For every for every Steph Curry, there's like 3 Kwame Browns.
Yeah.
And for every like Draymond Green, who was drafted in the second round, you get, man, who's even like a good example of like a first
Probably
overall?
like Rajon Rondo.
That's a good example. Where was Rajon Rondo drafted in?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I get
But
what you're saying.
These are the two guys. Washington's either getting AJ or Darren.
Yeah.
Utah's either getting AJ or Darren. There's not much more of an argument.
Always
Then
a possibility
you've
for
got
trades.
guys following up. It's true. I've heard that both teams are open to listen to trades.
Yeah.
But with this draft, I do think that it's a very high quality draft and that there's plenty of good guys to get. But if you're the Jazz or the Wizards, you're keeping. I feel like you need to keep because you're either scoring AJ DeBenson or Darren Peterson, and you've got your guy for the future.
Yeah.
But
Cameron
next guys
Boozer.
up, Cameron Boozer and Caleb Wilson,
Good players.
both
man.
forwards. I mean, again, what was it? The Grizzlies were at the 3.
The Grizzlies were at the 3, the Bulls were at the 4.
It's like you'd be happy with either of these guys. You've got some guards in Darius Acuff Jr. and Kingston Flemings. There's plenty of...
I mean, this is a good draft. There's a lot of good talent.
I think that there's going to be a lot of solid guys for a long time in this draft.
Did you see the fake Bryce James NBA announcement?
I did not.
It got a lot of people. Like, that would...
Makes sense.
That would have been fun, but...
I think that I'm excited
I think
to
you'll be...
watch this draft play out, mostly because I'm excited when the Jazz get to draft AJ and I get to buy a basketball jersey for the first time in a long time.
Right, a reason to be excited. Because, like, you were...
A reason to watch the NBA during the regular season.
Well, so you were a Jazz fan all throughout school and stuff like that, and I was a Golden State fan when I became a basketball fan. So what was your experience like? Because you were there when stinking Donovan got drafted. You were there when Rudy was, like, around. So, like, what was that excitement level like seeing Donovan be good? Because he wasn't a high...
Well, it was great because I was kind of in the age where I was, really getting into sports and really developed a love for watching them. And, I mean, I got to go to a couple of Jazz games and see Donovan play in person. And it was just like, wow, this guy's awesome. But then, tragedy. Tragedies in Utah did not give Donovan Mitchell a reason to stay.
Well, it also sucks.
And that made everything else crumble.
They were a consistent playoff team.
It's true.
And they played so stinking well, and it seemed like every single year they got closer and closer to something. With that in mind, like, Donovan did get drafted and traded. He was picked up 13th overall, but, like, I don't think people were really expecting him to be like the guy that's on the Cavaliers right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been one of those that...
He's just an explosive guard.
He's great.
He's been around for a couple of years. He's going to be around for a while. I hope to see him win a ring. Do I think that it's going to happen this year? No, because I'm just too scared of the OKC Thunder. But
I think your fear is unwarranted because of a tall fella named Victor Wembanyama, yo.
you know what? If the Spurs beat the Thunder, then what did you say earlier? You said if the
I'll buy a
Spurs
Wemby
make it to
jerseys.
the finals, you're going to buy a Wemby jersey.
Yeah, I'll buy a Wemby jersey.
I will thank Victor Wembanyama personally. I will meet him one day, and I will thank him for beating the Oklahoma City Thunder in the 2026 NBA
He'd
playoffs.
probably say something in French.
It's true.
No, but I mean, like,
He'd probably get freaky.
Wemby's playing angry. That's one thing we didn't really talk about. We talked about the T-Wolf side of things, but Wemby is playing with a vengeance, and I love seeing it. I think he's been one of the most entertaining guys to watch in ball for a little bit, but wow. One thing he said after their first loss in that series was he said that I didn't do the things that I needed to do to help the team win. He's been doing everything now. Like,
It's true.
wow. He put, what was it, like 17 rebounds or something like that?
Something like
That's
that.
absurd.
Crazy.
Man, I love his game.
Well, moving on from the NBA.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What about the Giannis thing?
What would you like to mention about the Giannis trade?
Talk about your Jaylen Brown stuff. Why do you hate Jason Tatum?
Why do I hate Jason Tatum?
What's the purpose? Where did this come from?
Well-
For reference, so me and him were talking our pre-gym talk like we do. We were talking about the Celtics, how they lost. That was pretty crazy. But he was talking about how much he liked Jaylen Brown. I was like, yeah, and I love Jason Tatum. I love the way he plays. I love his enthusiasm for the game, and I think he's been like a great asset to Boston for a while. And we were talking a little bit about the Giannis trade, and he was like, I'd rather trade Jason Tatum than Giannis. Than Jaylen Brown. I was like, what? He's like, I hate Jason Tatum. He said, I'm not going to get into it. Hasn't explained it. So why do you hate Jason Tatum?
I think I've come up with an analogy that I think can explain it in the least amount of words as possible. Jason Tatum is the Drake of the NBA.
Drake is the Drake of the NBA.
No. Jason Tatum is the Drake of the NBA.
Okay, explain then. What? How? I'm interested.
He's the quote-unquote Celtics guy. Has Jason Tatum ever won an MVP?
I don't think so. He's super. He's pretty,
supposed to be the Celtics superstar, but has he ever won an MVP?
He hasn't won a regular season.
Did he win the Finals MVP? Probably. No,
I don't think he did.
I don't think he
No.
did. Did Jalen?
I think Jaylen Brown probably won it. We weren't there for that finals, were we?
No.
He has not won an MVP.
Jalen Brown won the Finals MVP.
He did.
So Jason Tatum is supposed to be the Celtics guy. He can't even win the Finals MVP for his own team.
Well,
Jalen Brown did that.
Steph Curry didn't win a Finals MVP until they beat the Celtics.
But he did. But he won one.
Okay.
And you're also comparing Steph Curry to Kevin Durant and all these other guys.
Iguodala won one before he did, which, Iggy shouldn't have won that Finals MVP. But
you have Steph Curry playing with guys like Kevin Durant and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Andre Iguodala, who I think is overlooked as an actual good player oftentimes.
I agree.
But Jaylen Brown, you're comparing him to Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum is supposed to be the Finals MVP. And let me just pull up one clip.
he's super cringy. He is super cringy. I'll
Again,
give you that.
why he is the Drake of the NBA.
You seen that clip of him? Actually, I'll pull it up later, but go for it.
Wait. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. But it's basically when they win it, everyone knows the iconic LeBron, Cleveland,
Yeah.
this is for you. Jason Tatum did the Boston, this is for you.
That's what he does. He does all of this.
Again, he's a fake. He's
There's-
a follower. I hate the way that he walks, the way that he talks, the way that he dresses.
He does steal NBA players, bars, lines, whatever it may be, and uses them for his own. Even during his finals interview, he just said, "We did it," which is,
We all
Well, no,
watched.
he took that from Kevin Garnett
Yeah.
when Boston won. Was it Kevin Garnett?
So-
Whatever.
My point being, I don't like him. I think he takes himself way too seriously as well.
Kevin Garnett. He does. I love.
And he named his kid Deuce.
He did name his kid.
I often use the phrase, "Hey, I've got to go take a deuce," right? Referring to having to poop.
Yep.
He named his kid after poop.
Yeah.
So, I rest my case. I think we can move forward. I guess tying this in with the Giannis trade, I think it'd be better if Boston traded away Jason Tatum and kept Jaylen Brown. I feel like that Jason Tatum and Giannis's play kind of overlap each other, and having a Jason Tatum and a Giannis on the same team, I feel like is wasting
Okay, but
basically taking up 2 spots when you could have a Jaylen Brown at guard and then have Giannis at your forward. And I feel like that would be a lot better combo.
But let's say this. If you were Milwaukee, would you give up a first-round pick to get Jason Tatum? Because that's really what it's going to come down to, is if they gave up that 10th overall, whatever overall pick.
Well, I think the Milwaukee, honestly, they've kind of backed themselves into a corner with this. They've made Giannis feel not wanted there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've kind of got their hands tied behind their backs. So honestly, I think that they're just going to have to kind of take what they get, or else they're just going to lose out on Giannis and not get anything in return. They might keep him until his contract ends in that scenario, but once his contract is over, he's out of there.
Yeah.
So I think that if the Celtics trade goes through, they're probably still going to give Jaylen Brown. But
Yeah.
I would prefer the Jason Tatum. I think the Warriors could also very well happen, but
I think the Warriors will pick up some form of older superstar this off season. Who that may be, I don't know. It could be anybody from like a Paul George type, from like trade to like a Giannis Antetokounmpo type, or perhaps even the King himself. But anyway,
yeah.
That it for the NBA. Do you think anything else on your mind with
Anything
that?
else to say?
Okay. What do you say we go over to the NFL real quick? We can do NFL. We want to talk about the first round, then we can talk about our NFC North.
The first round.
First round of the draft.
Okay. Do you have it pulled up?
I do have it pulled up. So, you might have heard there's a little fella named Fernando Mendoza running around. Literally running around if you watch the championship game. But he's a football player, right? Got drafted first overall by the Las Vegas Raiders. Probably some amount of Tom Brady influence on that. Just a fella, seems like a good Catholic boy. But let me tell you, I don't think he's any kind of savior. I think we're getting a Derek Carr type too.
Wow, we're in the flow state because that's my exact opinion on Fernando Mendoza. The Raiders just drafted their next Derek Carr. Which, you know what? You look at Derek Carr's...
He's great.
His career.
I love it.
He led the Raiders to the playoffs.
He led the Saints to the playoffs.
Derek Carr was a solid player.
Yeah.
He's not a Patrick Mahomes.
He's not a Tom
or
Brady.
a Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Or a Tom Brady.
He's not even a Jalen Hurts, really. In my eyes, at least,
Yeah.
right?
And I don't think that Jalen Hurts is like the best
No.
quarterback ever. I think that Jalen Hurts' success is highly dependent on the people that's around him. But I think that Fernando Mendoza, especially with them drafting Chase Roberts,
Yeah.
I think that the Raiders definitely could win. They're in the AFC West.
Yes. Yeah, same division as the Chiefs and the
So
Broncos.
I honestly think that
Chargers.
the Raiders are a contender for the AFC West champions.
This season?
Yes, I think so. I think that they're a playoff team, but
Whoa.
I don't think
Okay.
that they're Super Bowl caliber. And
Well,
I don't
we
think
can
that
agree
they
on
will
that.
be with Fernando Mendoza.
I feel like
Because again, I think the Chiefs are going to be middling. They're not going to be as bad as they were last year, but I don't think they're going to be as great as they have been. The Broncos are going to be good. But
Yeah.
I think that the competition in the West is going to be the best that it's been in a long time. The Chargers are going to be the worst in the division.
So I'm interested. So with a non-Pete Carroll-led Las Vegas Raiders team that is running Clint Kubiak as their head coach for the first time in this season, first time he's being a head coach for this team, with a new quarterback, probably a new system, you think that they're going to just take the AFC?
I think they're going to make the
going to be
playoffs.
contenders?
I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that they could very well be in the running for the AFC West.
I don't think the AFC West is like a very strong division. Do I have faith that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to figure it out this season a little bit more than last season? Sure. Like, I think they'll do better. I think you'd be stupid to say that the Chiefs won't improve from last season.
I could see the AFC West being one of those situations where the only team in the division that makes the playoffs is the division champ, because all of the teams are 9-7.
just trading blows with each other during divisional
Yeah,
games.
where it's like none of them. It's you either win the West or you don't make the playoffs because they're all going to be 10-7 teams, 9-8 teams.
I can see that. I don't want to say that for the Chargers though, because we both have talked about it recently. Just our disdain for not necessarily like the players
themselves,
or the people on the Chargers, but
just the fact of what
franchise
the Chargers
or what they
are.
represent.
Yeah,
because we'll get into it maybe later, but obviously Fernando Mendoza.
I don't see anyone else going first overall in this draft. I think that they made the right choice in Fernando Mendoza, but he's not going to be some sort of, Lisan Al-Gaib for
Exactly.
this Vegas team.
For the first time ever, I think the Jets might have made a good first round pick choice.
Really?
Yeah. David Bailey at edge. Man, you were not here for college football. But wow, David Bailey was a monster. He shredded the Cougars so badly. I have visions of what he did to Bear Brockmeyer sometimes. This guy, I just don't know. I'm impressed by what he could do in the Big 12. I am a little bit worried about what he eventually was able to do even in the playoffs. He kind of dropped it a little bit. Just kind of depending on like the way that I see it is like the way that if he thinks that he can one up whoever he's going up against, he'll play good. But if he's like at all intimidated by another team, I think his stock goes down a little bit more. I don't know how that'll translate over to like an NFL career, but at some point you just have to kind of decide like I don't care who I'm going.
Do you think that he's the next Myles Garrett?
No. I think Myles Garrett. I think it'll be a while before we see a first round like defensive lineman be what Myles Garrett was. Because like if you think about like what
Myles Garrett is still.
Exactly, right? But like before Myles Garrett, it was J.J. Watt, right? And that was within the same decade, but that was a while.
You also forget about Aaron Donald and how dominant he was. But he was more of an interior guy.
He was an interior guy.
But
and
he also played the edge.
I don't forget about Aaron Donald, believe you me. Like Tom Brady said, there's only one man that he feared when he went on that football field, and it's Aaron Donald. So if Tom Brady fears a man, I fear him. What are you looking at right now? Just everything?
So, I want to talk about Jeremiah Love for just a second.
Go for it.
The sweet, sweet Cardinals. A good friend of mine is an avid Cardinals fan, and I feel for him daily.
Kyler's a Broncos fan.
I'm talking about a mission, buddy.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about with
Jeremiah
Kyler Murray.
Love. I love Jeremiah Love. A lot of people didn't really like this pick just because of the position, like...
It's a cursed position.
It is, and it's honestly like the value of the running back position is going down in the NFL nowadays. You look at any sports league and offenses are getting quicker and they're going for more explosive plays. Yeah. I mean, you look in the NBA, the 3-point shooting like percentage, like how many teams, like how many shots they're taking inside of the 3-point line versus outside of their 3-point line. In the past 20 years, it's changed drastically. I see kind of a parallel with receiving and passing in the NFL. You have a lot more pass-heavy offenses in the NFL. So for the Cardinals to pick a guy like Jeremiah Love, again, Jeremiah Love, very dominant running back, the best running back in this class.
Oh, yeah.
But the position value has just gone so far down. So do I see the Cardinals picking up any other guy other than Jeremiah Love here? No. But do I think that it was a high-risk, high-reward type of pick? I think very much so. Because if the Cardinals can figure out an offense, they might.
That's a big if.
They might just make the playoffs. And let's remember, I forget the name of the dumb Miami quarterback that I don't like that the Cardinals picked.
Josh Allen? No, not Josh Allen. Frick. Josh Rosen? Who are we talking about here?
Carson Beck.
Oh, we'll get into that.
They picked up Carson Beck in the 3rd round. So they're trying to revamp their offense. Carson Beck was not the choice. But if they can build an offense around Jeremiah Love, and if they can be a run-dominant team, because Jeremiah Love is a very downhill running back. You get him going, and he's going to run through everyone. I feel he's very comparative to Marshawn Lynch. I think Jeremiah Love could be a Marshawn Lynch. But the thing is, that is so uncommon in the NFL nowadays. If the Cardinals could figure it out, they could be very dominant.
I agree.
I think Jeremiah Love is honestly a high contender for Offensive Rookie of the Year. But that's, again, if the Cardinals figure stuff out.
I don't know if I fully agree. Like, I think that running backs are definitely less valued than they used to be. But I don't think that position is, like, in trouble. Because in the past couple of years of this draft, you've had, like, people like Cam Scatterboot go in the 1st round, right? Like, Cam went in the 1st round, right?
I don't know.
But
probably.
Like, there's these running backs out there, and of course the one that I'm thinking about right now is Saquon Barkley, right? I don't want to say that when you draft a running back first overall in the 1st round that you're hoping for a Saquon Barkley, but I feel like everybody in the back of their head is hoping for that.
Is very different from Jeremiah Love. That's what I'm saying is a Jeremiah Love type running back is uncommon nowadays because Saquon is a dual threat. So is Christian McCaffrey. That's why Christian McCaffrey is so good because he's a dual threat. Jeremiah Love is a runner.
I was so wrong about Cam Scatterby. He was drafted in the 4th round. My bad.
But
I wasn't there for it.
Jeremiah Love, again, if they could figure out an offense that is run heavy and get another Marshawn Lynch in the league, then it could be dangerous.
Well, I mean, when I think about, again, you said at the beginning, our minds are kind of stuck 2 years ago for a little bit. 2 years ago, my favorite running back group to watch was the Falcons. Because they just had 3 really young guys, including a ex-BYU running back in there, in Tyler Algier, that they would just rotate between those 3, and it was just really fun to watch.
Yeah. And another example was the Packers a couple years ago when they had Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, and A.J. Dillon. You have Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, who are both, I mean, you could have both of them on the field. One of them be the run option and one of them be the pass option. And then A.J. Dillon is just a guy that you feed it down the middle and he just powers through. They had a very good running back room. If you could get teams with rooms like that nowadays, it could be very dangerous because it's unconventional now.
The Eagles tried to have that last year. It didn't work out too great for them.
No.
You want to know who the Cardinals did pick up to add to that little bit of stock I was talking about? Tyler Algier. One of the most underrated running backs in the league, in my opinion. Of course, I'll say that about any BYU guy, but regardless.
Moving forward, the Titans take Carnell Tate. Who's the Titans quarterback right now? Is it Cam Ward?
I think it's Cam Ward.
I think it's Cam Ward. So I don't see the Titans being very good, personally.
No, they changed their logo. That's always a problem.
Honestly, there's not a
Cam
lot
Ward.
of other guys that I really want to deep dive into in this 1st round. I think
you don't want to talk about
Caleb Downs.
Spencer Fano.
I mean, what's there to really say? He's just a good tackle. I think the one thing that I'll mention about tackles,
There's so
look at
many.
this. So 9th pick, the Browns take a tackle. 10th pick, the Giants take a tackle. The 12th pick, the Dolphins take a tackle. The 14th pick, the Ravens take a guard. 17 and 19 are both tackles. 21 is a tackle. 26 is a guard. 28
Caleb Lamu
is a tackle.
He's the most white Polynesian man I've ever seen in my entire life.
And again, you also have a bunch of defensive linemen. So in this NFL draft, these big guys are on the up, which I love to see.
Yeah.
But that's about all I have to say about the big boys.
You don't want to say nothing about Ty Simpson and the Rams?
Well, I was getting there if
Gotcha.
you would let me.
Okay, my bad.
Do you have anything to say about Caleb Downs? I think that the stories of the Cowboys trading up and getting Caleb Downs is quite funny.
What's the story?
Wait. Am I thinking of... No. I'm thinking of Makai Lemon. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, okay. I kind of know it.
So,
Go for
I
it.
mean,
Like,
Caleb Downs just fell to 11, which was surprising for a lot of people. Giants fans are very upset for not taking Caleb Downs, but
I understand why they did it.
yeah.
Well, if you think about
Well, you think about who the Giants got last year in Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo.
well, who's their head coach, man? You know what I'm saying?
Is it still DeBoll?
No. Remember?
Who is it?
Harbaugh.
Oh,
Like they're not going to be going like. I talked about this with my brother. I could see the Giants winning this division. I think that your Las Vegas Raiders are my New York Giants, because I think part of this is copium, but man, I want Cam Scattaboo to be good, and I want him to be just as good as he was before he snapped his leg in half. And I was watching that. That was ugly. But I think that Jackson Dart, he didn't play too great. I have faith that he can figure it out a little bit more with a better coach for quarterbacks in Harbaugh. If you think about the quarterbacks that he's had, freaking Lamar Jackson, man.
yeah.
Like, if he can figure out how to connect with Lamar like that and help him get to where he's been at, I have no doubt that Jackson Dart can be a good quarterback. I think that giving that
I think
offensive...
Jackson Dart will be what Zach Wilson could have been.
Wow, that's poetic. It's like poetry, it rhymes. We'll leave it at that with them.
Ty Simpson, I personally like this.
Yeah.
Reason being, you look at what the Packers have done for the past 20 years. They draft Brett Favre. Brett Favre still has years on him. They draft Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers understudies Brett Favre for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Then they start Aaron Rodgers. And guess what? He becomes one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers still has time left in the tank. They draft Jordan Love. Jordan Love sits under Aaron Rodgers' belt for 3 years. And now Jordan Love is, I would consider Jordan Love an elite quarterback. I know that the word elite is kind of controversial with Jordan Love, but I would say that Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, and I think a lot of people consider Jalen Hurts elite.
He's top 3 in the NFC North.
Well, yeah, I would say he's top 1 in the NFC North, but I digress. That's not what we're talking about right now.
You are a Packers fan.
But Ty Simpson, they have Matthew Stafford for another, I think this is the last year of his contract, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
They're not drafting Ty Simpson to play this year. They're drafting Ty Simpson to learn from Matthew Stafford. What did the Giants just do with Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
They drafted Jackson Dart to listen to a guy like Russell Wilson, who's been in the league. I think Russell Wilson is one of like the best like coach quarterbacks or like to be an understudy.
Sean McVay?
Under, you know.
What?
No, what
I
I'm
see
saying
what
is
I see
like
what you're saying.
Jackson Dart is in the same quarterback room as Russell Wilson. Russell
Right.
Wilson is teaching him how to be a quarterback. That's what
Was.
Matthew Stafford is going to do for Ty Simpson.
His-
Is my idea.
Matthew Stafford's contract ends in 2027, which, I mean, he'll
It's-
probably retire.
That's this next year.
Yeah, he'll probably retire.
So
I would hope for him. I mean, I would want him to win a Super Bowl more than him retiring.
Yeah.
But I think the only thing that I can say about that is I don't think Matthew Stafford's upset about it, but I do know that Sean McVay didn't agree with it. I think that's pretty obvious to say that he would have wanted somebody else,
yeah,
especially in that first round, because what are the odds that somebody else was going to pick him up in that first round? I don't think very high. And then your next quarterback selection was in the third round, and that was Carson Beck.
yeah. I mean, you very well could have taken him with the 61st pick.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it was that terrible of a call.
By now, I would hope that he'd be over it. You know what I mean?
He's going to. He's Sean McVay, so
Right.
he's gonna do what he can. He's gonna work with what he has. Moving on to Makai Lemon. So the story here goes:
Go for it.
the Cowboys, I believe, have the 20th pick, and the Steelers have the 21st pick. The Steelers are planning on taking Mekhi Lemon with the 21st.
Okay.
But the Dallas War Room gets a call from Philly saying, hey, are you willing to trade picks? Philly had the 23rd. And the Cowboys aren't really super interested in Mekhi Lemon here. So they hear the Eagles out. Mekhi Lemon is on the phone with the Steelers. And they're saying, hey, we're going to take you with the 21st. And he's getting all excited. He looks at his phone, and he's getting a call from the Philadelphia Eagles. And he's on the phone with the Steelers, and he says, hey, why am I getting a call from Philadelphia? The Steelers are not happy about this. He answers the phone. The Eagles take Mekhi Lemon with the 20th pick via Dallas.
Which is weird, because why would Dallas want to at all improve Philadelphia's standing? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm trying to see what it...
I do remember watching the draft and seeing that happen and just being shocked.
I can't see what...
They got for it?
I think they got 2 third or fourth round picks as well.
Which, I mean, sure, you're stacking up what you need, right? But the Eagles really wanted Mekhi Lemon.
Because, again, I think A.J. Brown is most likely out of Philadelphia.
By the beginning of June, he'll be a New England Patriot, is what like Adam Schefter is saying and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so they needed a guy like Mekhi Lemon to go along with DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
And keep... Because, again, Jalen Hurts is going to rely on stars around him. So he needs Saquon. He needs DeAndre Swift. He needs a Mekhi Lemon to come in and be really good. I think that Mekhi Lemon, Fernando Mendoza, Jeremiah Love are some of my picks for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I think that's fair.
I think David Bailey very well could be Defensive Player of the Year. Arvil Reese, I don't know much about him, but, I mean, the Ohio State Buckeyes were very good this year, very defensively intimidating.
You don't like the Casey Conception connection with Shedeur Sanders?
What?
What do you mean, what?
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the 24th overall pick.
Casey Conception. No. I don't like Shedeur Sanders, so the Browns on offense
are
going to do nothing.
Do you not like Shedeur Sanders, or do you not like his hype?
I just don't like it. I don't like his hype, I think.
I liked watching him play when he did. I feel like he got scammed.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I think one thing, the Seahawks took Jadarian Price, Notre Dame's second running back, their 2 option, because they fetch and got rid of Kenneth Walker, which was just ridiculous. Super Bowl MVP, and they're just like, nah, we don't want to re-sign you. So
they won't go back to the Super Bowl for a decade.
Yeah, you're right.
They have a great head coach. I love their head coach. But even seeing him, I'm not even gonna. You know what?
I think that's probably good for the NFL today.
Yeah, why not?
Is there anything else you would like to talk about?
I don't necessarily need to talk about hockey.
All I can say is the Oilers finally relieved their head coach, and wow, was this the greatest decision of all time. Again, I was in the Canada Edmonton mission. I lived in Edmonton for almost 2 years, and I was there when they went to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals and lost back-to-back Stanley Cup finals to the Florida Panthers. This Oilers team cannot figure out what they're doing, and they've got a generational star in Connor McDavid that they're just wasting his time. He's got another year, I think 2 years in his contract, but honestly, I do not see Connor McDavid being an Oiler for much longer after that. So, Vegas Knights, they're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Utah Mammoth, I'm glad that they're around. I'm excited for next season so I can watch a little more of them.
Go to a game.
Yes, indeed.
I guess I'll bring up my area of expertise. Man, I don't fully know what to think about the UFL this season. I'd say that this is probably the best quality of football we've had on the field since probably USFL 2023, 2024. There's so much weird, like, political drama. Because, okay, something that the league is doing, if you don't know, the USFL, the XFL merged, right? So most of the teams that are still around are either XFL teams or XFL markets, right? And the USFL didn't really have markets because they did those hub teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like what's going on is the league is prioritizing XFL teams, markets, and players more than USFL teams, markets, or players. So there's a lot of guys that were in the USFL that aren't getting spots in the UFL kind of because they were just in the USFL rather than XFL guys. Now, that's the common, like, drama way of looking at it. I will say, like, I do think that Jamar Smith, who was the starting quarterback for the Birmingham Stallions, definitely could have a spot in one of these teams that's struggling at quarterback. But one of my biggest problems with the UFL is that there's just not enough teams to support this talent pool that we're now aware of. Because for a amount of time, we had 16 spring football teams that had full rosters, that were playing, that we had storylines of, that we saw go at it. We saw Vlad League type people. We saw people like Brian Scott. We saw Luis Perez, of course. But now it's, again, just 8 teams, and you just only can fill a 53-man roster. And they are trying to add new teams. They already announced in 2028 they're going to have an OKC team. But at what point are you just, like, missing out on talent that could have been utilized beforehand?
Yeah.
That's my biggest thought, really, with the UFL. I don't have a problem with the quality on field. Me personally, I don't mind that the markets aren't having the player, like the fan support in person as much as somebody else would. I think they kind of chose a weak time to decide to start the season. I think if they started it right after the Super Bowl, they'd have more fan interaction, more people would be excited, but you're competing now against, you started in March Madness and you proceed, well, maybe you didn't even start March Madness, but now you're competing against the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA playoffs. That's a lot. So that's my bit right there.
My opinion on spring football, it'll always be around, but the specific league won't be. There'll always be some sort of spring football thing going on where the NFL rejects, to put it quite harshly, will go and play in hopes of one day being added to an NFL roster.
The Cavante
It'll always be
kickers.
around, but the specific league won't be for more than a couple years at a time.
It won't. I mean, the only way that it could happen is if the NFL officially did it. Because for some reason, people are always looking for that NFL stamp of approval, right?
And I mean, that's basically with every sport. Like, you have to have the NFL teams that are correlated with the G League teams. Like, spring football would basically just be the NFL G League.
Yeah, and I think that, because the thing is like, there's not a lot of people that are just exclusively fans of spring football and not be fans of the NFL or college football, right? If you like the UFL, odds are you're liking all football.
Yeah.
But if you just
Other than maybe like the Trump-rotted equivalent of like football fans, where it's just like they're just so brain dead that it's like, I hate the NFL, or it's like all those old people that are like, the NBA is not the same as it used to be, or the NFL is soft now, or those same types of people are the type of people that I see being spring football fans, but not mainstream football fans.
Which I don't understand why. It's not like the UFL is doing things to make things unsafe. If anything, they're innovating so that the NFL can become, if not more safe, more productive, more efficient, and stuff like that. Like, they had a sideline interview with a ref. They had a sideline interview with a ref after a controversial call. Like, I'm being so genuine. If we had that in the NFL, we wouldn't be seeing some of these stupid, like, there would be more accountability is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because then you have to, like, face, your actions have consequences. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, yeah, do I think that sometimes the UFL plays a little bit too much into vanity? Sure. But why not? Right? It's just kind of like, you kind of have to do it.
in spring football doesn't exactly have much to win, but it also doesn't have much to lose. So
where it does have to win is like letting these smaller, or not even smaller, these unappreciated markets thrive. But
sure.
But if you do that, you have to support those markets.
Yeah.
They have sucked at getting intercity marketing. They try to do like the whole like TV marketing and everything like that, and they do a good job. They get 1 million people watching per game.
But you look at, like, I tuned into a game the other night, and there was maybe, I bet 8,000 people there.
Yeah, that's like what they average.
So, into our final topic, what were some of the things that you felt like you really had to worry about throughout your life as a child? Was it perhaps the Joker? Maybe quicksand? How about the Bermuda Triangle?
Well, I mean, as a kid, I feared trying to finish Lego Lord of the Rings mostly, but I do remember. When was the first time you heard about the Bermuda Triangle? Because I actually had my first go for it, and then I'll explain.
I'm trying to think, but I remember, in Pirates of the Caribbean, where Jack goes off the edge of the world.
Yeah,
That's kind of like my first conception of what the Bermuda Triangle is, or like the concept of it, where it's just this place.
What people thought it was, right?
Yes, where it's just this place where you will die if you enter the Bermuda Triangle.
It's the grand line.
Something horrible will happen
right.
to you if you go to the Bermuda Triangle.
The grand line of the world.
I never wanted to go to Florida just because of the distance and the proximity to the triangle was. So.
No, there was a genuine fear as a child of being like, if I go on a flight in the Atlantic Ocean, what would happen?
Yeah.
But this is a deep cut because this was my first schizoid deep dive as a child. Was the Bermuda Triangle.
Wow.
So I will go on these dives where a specific topic will grab me, and that's all I will like look into for a couple of days, if not weeks. When the Epstein files dropped, I was into it. Just looking into every little minute detail. I think one of the funniest ones I ever had was figuring out the entire lore of Agartha. That one was pretty fun.
Garbage.
But I remember my parents were at the gym, and I was on Netflix, and I saw this documentary for the Bermuda Triangle. I was like, what the heck is this? And I watched that, and just this uncurable amount of fear struck me. And for about 3 weeks, I just watched as many Bermuda Triangle documentaries as I could on Netflix to try to understand what this was.
How many Bermuda Triangle documentaries did Netflix have?
There's a lot. I feel like this is kind of like the thing that people want to show you. Like, everybody wants to talk about the Bermuda Triangle, but ain't nobody want to talk about the expedition to Antarctica, am I right? Anyway, it's the conspiracy theory they want you to believe, right? That's what I believe about the Bermuda Triangle. So, my thing with where am I even going? So, Bermuda Triangle genuinely is like nothing. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Again, like quicksand was like, because my dad works in like construction and like mixers, and like he would always like have to run to work while we were in the car, and he'd go to one of the plants and he'd be like, yeah, that's our quicksand pit over there. And I was terrified, like, get me the fetch away from this quicksand or I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
But it's like, I've never even come across quicksand ever.
I have. So it's like this, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, so it's this idea when you're a child where it's just kind of this mystery of this like thing that is there in the world, but it's actually just a nothing burger. It's
that baby's first esoteric figure. Kind of, what's it called when like there's something that like kind of like almost like a Lovecraftian thing, like this esoteric
I have no idea.
force
the entity.
Like, yeah, I guess like an entity, but like something like that. It's like that baby's first experience with something that you can't understand, but like exists. Because, you know, as humans, if we fall into the trap of like, I understand something so I can control it, but I know when the sun rises.
But you can't control quicksand.
Exactly.
You can't control the Bermuda Triangle. You can't even control the
Right. And so that's kind of like that first discovery of that. But why are we talking about the Bermuda Triangle?
What's the point of this whole 5-minute rant?
Well, we have great news. This is coming from the Daily Mail, all right? Scientists solve Bermuda Triangle mystery after discovering hidden structure below the Atlantic waters.
Fellas, they found Atlantis.
They found Agartha. So I'll kind of like briefly go into this a little bit. So scientists have discovered why a small volcanic island in the middle of the Atlantic is still high above the ocean floor, even though its volcano stopped erupting after 30 million years. So a team from Carnegie Institution of Washington and Yale found a hidden structure under Bermuda formed after the area's final volcanic eruption, which has secretly kept the island above the sea since prehistoric times. So basically, what this is talking about is like there's like a structure where that's being lifted up underneath like volcanic activity that is keeping, it's like not even a building. It's basically an island that's just being kept up from this ancient lava flow. I have no idea how this would affect what the Bermuda Triangle is. I've tried to understand this. I think I've read this like twice, but I don't understand why my head can't understand how this affects the Bermuda Triangle at all.
Well, might just be me talking out of my butt, but isn't the Bermuda Triangle something to do with like magnetic fields or like some sort of like basically like your navigation doesn't work in the Bermuda Triangle, so maybe it's something to do with like the idea of like what's happening under the water, like in between you and the Earth's core, whatever's happening under you is like affecting how you can navigate. So
I think that's
basically,
probably true.
Long story short, you can look into it yourself, but the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is solved, and there's no need to fear anymore. We can all rest easy.
I just went onto a different website to try to get a better explanation, but it started quoting the Book of Daniel, so I think we're getting lost in the weeds.
I think we're gonna stop there. So, all in all, this was a great time. We were so happy to be back. 21 down. What are we gonna name this episode?
I don't necessarily. Should we name it just like Bermuda Triangle solved? ?
I don't know. I think the thing that I've said the most today is we are so back. So
fears conquered.
Fears conquered. Well, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, we thank you.
Vietnamese.
All the Vietnamese people, especially, we love you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
I wonder if that means like I wonder if that means that's where their Spotify account was created, but they've immigrated here,
or they're just in Vietnam.
Well, I think about it more dramatically.
I think that our community is going to grow faster in Vietnam than it is going to be anywhere else. That's why in 2032 we are going to schedule a 21 Down Vietnamese tour. So put it in your schedules. 2032. We will be in Vietnam.
I like to think that they immigrated to the United States to discover.
21 Down.
That's more dramatic.
That would be awesome. Well,
I promise we'll have more interesting people on some other time.
We will have some fellas join us. But for now, this has been...
Stay classy.
21 Down.